Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. This is Brother Clark. I'll be doing a brief tutorial for you about the Week 4 Virtual Lab Swimming Pool Inspection and Report. In this assignment, you'll be taking a little field trip to a swimming pool facility that you have near you, hopefully, and doing an inspection to walk around and look for different deficiencies that you may see with the pool structure, the pool chemistry, and the water, as well as the changing areas, the entry, the entrance, and the lobby area. All those areas are indicators of an area or a pool facility that has been well cared for, that's been maintained properly, and taken swimming health and swimmer health into consideration. So it is a great assignment and it is fun to go and take a look at a swimming pool. So I highly encourage you to do that and take lots of photos when you do go, because part of your final report, you're going to want to include some of the photos and things that you've done. So as far as the report goes, you'll want to review chapter 4 closely, make lots of highlights in the chapter of things that you want to discuss in your report. There's lots of great pieces of information in chapter 4 about swimming pool facilities in general and water chemistry, and just general bodies of water, even natural bodies of water. So do take note of that and lots of references. You can pull lots of information from chapter 4. It's a great chapter. But first off, you're going to be downloading the swimming pool inspection form. When you hit download, it'll open up to this, and then you'll download, and it'll convert it into a Word format for you. And you'll be able to fill in your information up here, and then you'll have to calculate the occupancy, the number of toilets, the number of showers required based on the size of the pool. And then you've also got some areas here to look at specifically, such as posted signs, changing areas, the pool construction or the pool shell itself. You've got life-saving equipment and devices, diving areas, chemical and treatment area, and then the spectator area. So lots of great reference points here to inspect. So you'll just put the deficiency, and please do so with great detail. That's always helpful of what you discovered, and then what recommendations you make to correct it or to prevent it from reoccurring in the future. Okay, I'm going to close this and then just going back to the instructions area. Um, if you can't get to a swimming pool, there's not one close to you, you can also use the virtual lab. And so you'll click on this and it'll open up into a document. You can download this also if you want, or you can just use the screen that it opens into. But you'll want to read and understand and interpret the instructions here. But just go through the photos carefully and look and see things that may stand out to you as being non-compliant or unsafe, um, poorly marked, in poor condition, damaged, worn out. Things like that are always helpful to keep in mind. But there's lots of great content in these photos, and I think you'll see that a lot of those are very helpful. So I don't need that anymore, but I will just open up to Appendix A, always a very important appendix, as well as Appendix C for all of your big projects and your big reports in this course. So just skipping over to Appendix A is going to talk about um, the pool inspection report right here. And again, it's going to follow a similar format to other reports, such as your title page, your table of contents, and then the body of the report. So take special note that there are lots of pieces of information that need to be included here. The number of deficiencies and recommendations, observations in your narrative, what sample methods you took to check the temperature of the pool, the chlorine level, the chemistry, things like that. So you'll want to talk about that, even if you're not doing it at an actual pool, which this portion most of you aren't. It's still highly recommended to create the report as if you were, and just describe that as if you were there. So you might have to use your imagination a little bit. But, some very, very helpful information as always in the appendixes A and C. Headed back over to the instructions area. Um, Also take a look um, at the rubric. Always very important to look at the rubric, and over time you're probably going to have most of it memorized, and you'll be able to anticipate what is needed on these assignments. But I always recommend take a look at the far left so you can just try and maximize the amount of points that you can get as far as being distinguished or proficient in that category. Always a very good sign to start with these more challenging but yet more rewarding sections. So, your title page will need to have these components. Your table of contents needs these components. Introduction, your narrative. You've got narrative describing deficiencies, and then you've got a narrative describing some of those recommendations. And I guess one piece of advice on that, or counsel or guidance, is to also include why you identified it as a deficiency. So your deficiency descriptions should contain three components, and that would be what the deficiency is, why you describe it as a deficiency, and then what corrective action or preventative action you recommend to correct it or to prevent it from reoccurring. So talk about your sampling methods. Um, you know, the pH of the pool, the chlorine testing, how that was done. And it says here that should have its own paragraph. So spend a good amount of time on that. And again, you'll be able to draw lots of information from the textbook chapter 4, which is very, very helpful for that. You'll want to provide the results table, and you can do that through copying and pasting it into the Word document, but you can also do a screenshot. And if you don't know how to do a screenshot, I can show you how to do that, but sometimes your laptop will have a tool such as mine here where you click on this and then you hit this little lasso tool, and then I can just do a screenshot like that and it turns into its own image. And then I can just copy and paste that into my document. But again, don't forget to take a look at the rubric because that's really where a lot of those requirements are. And you're going to find that over time, not just in this course, but in other courses that you'll have, that the better you get at doing these rubrics and these reports, the more you're going to know, and the better off you'll be as far as writing reports, even after school in your professional life, because this is a great training tool to really get you thinking critically about how to assemble a good report that communicates your message. So anyway, that's all I've got for this tutorial. And as always, if you have any questions, please let me know. Good luck.